Baby, scoot in a little bit.
Well,
I mean, you're way over there.
You're still getting
You're like way over
because
there.
you're still moving around, Alan. I have to wait until you're finished, and my knees are up against the desk the whole time.
I'll finish.
So I have to sit spread eagle.
Yeah, I'll do. I'll sit spread eagle and I'll finish.
Let's just get started.
We'll get started. Hello, Mel.
Do you have a low back? Oh, you're not plugged in.
Whoa, that would not be good, guys.
You're welcome.
Golly. Hey, Mel. Hey, Rosa. Christina Hobden. Hello, Paula. Hey, Safe Beauty. Kathy. Tiffany Tippin, one of our very best customers. Hello, Jakob. Bethany on the ball tonight. Not late this time. Hello, Brooksy. Yes, here we are on a Monday. Thank you, Mel. I know you care. Hello, Anna. Hello, Faith. Faith in the house. That's what we need. We just got to have faith. That's what we need. Hey, Safe Beauty, what'd you get? Better yet, where did you get it? That's what we all really want to know. Hello, Dorothy. Dot. My friend, not my man, my friend Dot. Hello, Holly. From West Virginia. Mountaineer State. Hello, Christina. Yeah, I did. I scored thrifting. I went thrifting. Christina, what did you think of those jeans? They were a 32 waist, and the inseam had to be like a 25.
Did you not notice that before you tried them?
No, I didn't. I really didn't. I panicked because I saw they were a Page brand. I was like, rah, bye. Thank you, Dot. Love you desperately. Okay, here, hold on. All right, guys. We got things to see and people to do, so we're gonna get this going here. What we're gonna do.
We're missing Dancing with the Stars, the big premiere tonight.
Yes.
Carol Baskin hasn't danced yet.
Carol Baskin.
Got a confirmed positive COVID test at my daughter's school.
Really? Okay, why don't you give me a little something?
We got a confirmed positive test. Note a student who was tested positive was present on Friday, but not experiencing symptoms at the time. So there you go with that. Testing 1, 2.
Harold Undersack. Harry Undersack. Please pick up the red courtesy phone. Harry Undersack. Please pick up the red courtesy phone. Harry Undersack.
Okay, that's enough. I tolerate it to a point.
Oh, don't give me any of that.
I tolerate it to a point, but when you keep repeating it, it's disgusting.
Don't give me any of that lip. Just look at yourself on that picture behind me. Make that face. All right. You guys ready?
You weren't saying lewd things to me that day.
Oh, I'm sure I was.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Welcome to another episode of A Sandwich and Some Lovin' podcast. I'm Kelly Raspberry Evans, and this is my husband, Alan Evans.
Hello, Alan. Hey, Train in the house.
We're here for another podcast. We are back to 2 podcasts a week starting today.
We're back in the saddle, babe. Back in the saddle again. Yes.
So we've got to, bring it, come with it. And I think we're going to do that tonight.
Well, hey, like I've said many, many times on this podcast, I don't get on here to gyp the listener. Now, I may offend the listener. I may annoy the listener. But I'm not going to gyp. I may annoy my wife, but I'm not going to gyp the listener. That's the last thing I'm going to do.
That's the last we hope. We don't ever want to do that. We probably have done it inadvertently in the past.
What, gyp the listener?
We're not going to do it tonight.
No, we're not going to gyp
the listener. Got some fun stuff we want to get to. Actually,
we
some
have
eye-opening stuff.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Alan, quit acting like you don't know.
Oh, I know. It's eye-opening?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was today years old. Why would that not be eye-opening?
I was today years old. Yeah.
Why do you act like you have no clue what's going on?
We're going to do Iowa's Today Years
This was
Old.
Alan's idea. And he's like, what? What
These
are we
are
doing?
all my ideas. What are you talking about? Yeah, we're back to 2 podcasts a week.
We are. And we're already starting to regret that.
Who
obviously.
told us that we had to do 2 podcasts a
Nobody
week?
said we had to, but
Then why are we?
quit acting like you don't want to be here.
I'm kidding. I'm just trying to get
All
y'all,
right. So
I'm trying to get
anyway,
y'all riled up.
it's working. So Alan came to me today and he said, hey, Kelly, we're going to do a bit. Because he learned something today. He found out something. He's like, just come up with some stuff. I was today years old. I'm like, oh, okay. It's that easy. Because
No, I clarified.
I was today years old when I found something out. And, this is a lot of people do this, but there's some stuff. What happened for me was I tried to go back into things that it took me a long time before I learned them, but nothing really new has come to mind lately. So I went on my Instagram because I turn to you when I need help. And I just asked, hey, fill in the blank. I was today years old when I learned this. Got some really incredible ones. So I'm learning, because of this bit, I'm learning new stuff today.
And I'm going to learn them too because I haven't seen them.
Yeah,
I came up with my own 5 just right off the top of my head.
I had a couple that I could think of, but that was it.
So we're going to do yours and mine and then the listeners?
Yeah, we can do that.
You got that? Kelly and I did a project together, which I've always encouraged all couples to do. If you ever want to get divorced, though, wallpaper together, that will get you divorced.
That's why we hired somebody to do the very tiny wallpapering project we have.
Yes, but any other project is probably safe. Kelly and I built a shed this weekend.
Yeah, you did the majority of it, but I think I did help.
And God, you did it. You did help. And guys, this wasn't some little 3x6 shed. This some bitch is 6 feet wide, 12 feet long, and 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a little mini house. It's like a she shed.
And, you said people told you could do it by yourself, but it is a lot easier with help.
The ratings and reviews said you could do it, but you'd probably end up being really pissed and it would take you like a week.
Yeah, because stuff falls over a lot.
So I ended up being really pissed and it only took me 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you still managed to get a little bit frustrated because, every once in a while I slipped up on my duties. Like we thought something was good and we'd walk away and it'd fall over. But that was obviously my fault. But I was there to grab a wrench for you when it was out of place.
Well, I heard a restaurant manager say to his employees one time, as they're all just kind of standing around, he's like, guys, gals, I don't care what you do, just do something.
Yeah.
That happened a few times where I'm kind of looking at Kelly like,
well, I mean, sometimes there's just, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You're reading the instructions and I'm just standing there.
Right.
So I went and got you,
you were a gopher.
I got you some WD-40 when you asked for it. I went and found that.
I needed lubrication.
I went and, found the pliers when he needed those.
I needed a firm grip.
I did whatever you asked me to do.
Yes, out there on the side of the house.
And then I left him alone because, as you may tell from my voice,
oh no,
I'm still suffering a little bit,
babe,
from the cough. I finally went to a doc in the box on Saturday after I didn't go to the doctor during the week, so it got to the weekend. I had to go to a doc in the box, which, by the way, there are some very, very fine. I don't know if I should call out by, why wouldn't I call out by name? It'd be okay, right?
Hashtag ad.
It's not an ad.
Oh.
But they were so nice to me. It was Primacare, urgent care.
Wow.
And they were very nice to me because I went online and filled out, my forms and everything. The lady was so helpful. And they said they'd call me, rather than coming in, you can wait in the comfort of your home and with your cable TV and air conditioning and everything. So I did that. And about an hour and a half later, they called and said, okay, you can come on in. I said, oh, I'll be right there. And I punched what I thought was the correct address into my Waze.
Uh-oh. That was your mistake, using Waze.
And my daughter, I said, just come with me. I'm just going to run in real quick and then we can go shopping and do some stuff. And about 20 miles later, I'm like, wow, this is really far. And I walked inside and said, hi, I'm Kelly Evans, my married name. And I said, I'm here for my appointment. They're like, you're not on the list.
You only use Raspberry when you're trying to get into a fancy restaurant.
Right. You're not on the list. I said, oh, but I did this all online, remember? And they said, "You're at the wrong primary care."
Oh.
She said, "You drove right by the one you were supposed to go to
Babe,
about 20 miles ago."
remember that happened to me when I was getting my pre-screening for the, I'm sorry, am I messing you up?
No, sorry.
When I was getting my pre-screening for the, what's the thing I had done to my
Your
rear?
colonoscopy.
Colonoscopy, yeah. Remember I went to the wrong building?
Yeah. But they
I'm
saw
sorry,
the look of like sadness in my eyes because they couldn't see my nose and mouth because I was wearing a mask. And I said, "Oh no." I said, "Could you please?" I said, "I'll start going to the right one." I said, I need to call them and tell them I'm late." She goes, "Don't worry about it. We'll see you here." They were so nice. They like went ahead and took me in. And the doctor said he believes I have a virus.
Whoa.
Not coronavirus, but he does think it's a viral cough.
It's the novel.
That will eventually
the novel cough.
go away on its own, but gave me a prescription for some cough syrup with codeine in it and some little beautiful golden pearly pills I'm supposed to take. And it says on the bottle that you probably need to take it every 4 to 6 hours, but I'm thinking I'm good for about 2 to 3 on that when I need to go swig some more. But today I think I am getting a little better finally. Thank y'all I know a lot of people have reached out and have had wonderful suggestions, and I've taken most all of them because in addition to taking the codeine laced prescription cough syrup with the pill, I also took my Delsum and I rubbed Vicks Vapor Rub all over my chest and throat. I did not want to put it on the bottom of my feet and sleep in socks because my feet get too hot, but still woke up at 2:00 this morning, coughing my brains out. Mm-hmm. And left Alan in the bed alone, and I went and slept on the couch after taking another dose.
Hello, hand.
But I think I'm going to be better now. Hopefully. I'm sleep deprived for about a week. I got in a lot of trouble for a few things at work today that I just messed up.
Stop talking.
I messed up so badly. It was bad. I got in trouble a lot. But, you know.
How red was he today? As red as my shirt I'm wearing right now?
Probably so. But, you know, tomorrow's a new day, and hopefully I'm going to get a good night's sleep tonight. And thank you all for your wonderful, kind suggestions. I appreciate it.
Well, we did something fun tonight. I'm sorry, babe. I know you're on the rebound. You're on the rebound with the meta side.
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell everybody we went thrifting?
I did not.
We went thrifting tonight, guys. It's the first time I've ever been thrifting.
Really?
I've never been thrifting.
You've never been to a consignment store? That's what we were at.
Oh. Well, I've been to a furniture consignment store.
Well,
B&B consignment. Yeah. I know. Hashtag
Some
ad.
People don't consider what we did thrifting as much as I think it is.
Okay, well, I've never dug through a bunch of used clothes.
Yeah,
before.
that's what we did.
Okay, we went thrifting then.
We did.
And I scored.
You got 3 things.
I scored a Banana Republic merino wool, like a zip-up sweater, like a Ben Sherman button-down shirt, and what was the other thing?
Levi's.
Oh, a pair of Levi's, like
dress khakis, or
they're
like denim. They were like
denim
tan
jeans,
denim.
Yeah,
very nice.
And I got all 3 pieces for like $30.
But he went because I scored. I got what is it? Patagonia.
Patagonia.
I it's just a lightweight.
We sound like brand
puffer
snobs.
Jacket. I know, but I was like, I think this is an expensive brand, but I'm not sure. And it was used, but it looked really good shape. And I Googled it really quick, and it was a $200 jacket, and it was $45. So I got it.
That's a deal.
It was a really nice, lightweight, like a puffer jacket, a thin puffer jacket. Does that make sense? And I got this T-shirt I'm wearing for like $5 or $6.
So after
I did really
you
good
did
too.
Really good, babe. So
and I got a beautiful sweater. My mother's like, you've got to get that sweater. It was $10. So I did good.
So after we went thrifting, we went and ate tonight. I mean, no big deal. We just went and had some Thai food after that. But as we're walking out of the Thai restaurant, Kelly and I had a debate over something, and I need a ruling from our audience. We're going to get to that right after this.
All right. I don't even remember what we fought about. Yes. I just remember I was coughing my brains out of the Thai restaurant. I don't care how either I always forget to tell them no cilantro, or tonight, Alan, as my witness, I said, does this have cilantro in it? She said, no. I said, good, because I hate cilantro. Dumped a whole pallet of cilantro on my soup tonight.
Babe, you can only hack Shaq 6 times.
It was
I mean,
awful.
you were hacking.
I hate cilantro. I hate it. He loves it.
I love it.
I couldn't pick it out of the soup. It was awful.
You're one of those weirdos where it tastes like soap.
I just hate it. I don't even know if it tastes like soap. I don't like it. But I tell you what I do like, and something Alan and I can agree on, Framebridge. A longtime sponsor of our podcast. We appreciate them so much. And they've done if you're watching us record this on YouTube, the picture of Alan and me hanging behind his head is a Framebridge product, because it was so precious. You wanted to make sure it was taken care of right. And now Framebridge makes it easier and more affordable than ever to frame your favorite things. And you don't even have to leave the house, because we're all trying to stay home more, right? You can add a gallery wall to your home office, or you can send the perfect gift, from art prints and diplomas to the photos that are on your phone. You take some beautiful phones with your iPhones now. Why not get those framed with Framebridge? You don't have to go buy expensive art. Frame the photos you're taking. Just go to framebridge.com, upload the picture, and they'll send you packaging to safely mail in your physical pieces. So if you have like a christening gown or something special like that, maybe a flag that it was at a military funeral. I know a lot of people like to take care of those and frame them beautifully. Framebridge will take care of that, and they do such a special job. And you can preview your item online in dozens of different frame styles and gallery wall layouts to help you make the right choice. And they have experts there that can help you with that. And they don't charge you with for their recommendations. And then Framebridge custom frames your item, delivers it to you finished, directly to your door, ready to hang. And instead of the hundreds you'd pay at a framing store, their prices start at just $39, and all shipping is free. Plus, our listeners get a 15% off discount on their first order at framebridge.com when you use our code SANDWICH.
Get started today. Frame your photos or send someone the perfect gift by going to framebridge.com and use promo code SANDWICH to save an additional 15% off your first order. Just go to framebridge.com, promo code SANDWICH. Framebridge.com, promo code SANDWICH. We love Framebridge.
We do. Thank you, Framebridge.
Yes,
all right.
we do.
What did we argue about in the parking lot?
Just real quick.
I don't even remember.
Just real quick.
And it happened an hour ago.
We weren't arguing.
You said it was a debate.
We were having a healthy debate, a healthy discussion.
Okay.
And I want our listeners to send us any of your comments about this to podcast@kellyandallen.com. That's where you can reach us if you want to send us an email. Tell us how good we are. Tell us how sorry we are. Whatever. Just that's where you can contact us. I see everyone. I read everyone. I see everything.
Okay, babe.
So we're walking out of the restaurant, and this is a strip mall that we haven't been to, or at least together we haven't been to. Kelly sees a restaurant. It's kind of got a different name. It was I don't know what type of food it was. It was either Mediterranean or maybe an Indian restaurant.
It was curry.
Curry. Okay. But it had a different name. I don't recall the name, but it reminded me of a movie that I saw a long time ago called Along Came Polly.
Yes.
And I started just giggling to myself because it reminded me of this scene where Ben Stiller and
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, and Seymour Hoffman. Is that
first? Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. They were talking about this date that Ben Stiller was going to go on with Jennifer Aniston. If any of you seen this,
he's already giggling.
I can't even hardly get it out. But Ben Stiller is going to take Jennifer Aniston out on a date, and so Philip Seymour Hoffman says, "Well, where are you going to take her?" And he says, "Well, she kind of likes ethnic food." And he says, "Well, dude, you can't take her to ethnic food. You've got like the worst IBS." And he said, no, I don't think it's ethnic at all. He's like, well, what's the name of it? And Ben Stiller says, El Hafez.
Again, he was in hysterics in the parking lot.
And then the movie cuts to the next scene, and Ben Stiller is sitting on the floor with Jennifer Aniston, and he's sweating profusely.
Cramping.
He's got bubble gut, and he's cramping and sweating, and he's at El Hafez on the floor shoving food in his mouth. Because Jennifer Aniston's real earthy and has to eat.
Right. He's trying to impress her.
Right. So that's what the story I was telling Kelly. I've told her this story a million times, and this is the same reaction I get, which is fine.
But he tells it and laughs, doubles over laughing every time anyway.
Right. So Kelly, and I'm like, babe, we have got to watch this movie together. It's one of my favorite. She goes, I hate Ben Stiller.
I cannot stand Ben Stiller. I cannot stand him.
Okay, that's fine.
I told Alan what is it? Meet the Fockers. He is so annoying and aggravating because everything can be cleared up. so simply. And I know it's a movie. I know it's a
Uh-huh,
script. And I know
uh-huh.
we're supposed to suspend our
Yes.
disbelief or suspend your belief. I forget what it's called. But I just cannot stand him.
And-
And he's the same in Along Came Polly.
Uh-huh.
He's the same in every movie he does.
Okay.
And I cannot
And
stand
you said
him.
you didn't like Meet the Fockers and it was dumb because everything could be explained.
Yeah, it's very simple.
Okay. So
It's easy. Like, it was just like, all you have to do is don't check the ring in the luggage. That's it. No big deal. Say, excuse me, before you take my luggage, can I get that very expensive diamond ring out and just stick it in my pocket? Problem solved. Everything that happened in that movie had a very simple solution.
Right.
And he's just so annoying and unlikable.
Right. Okay.
Which some people may say that about me.
So that's what Kelly and me too. So that's what Kelly gave me back when I said, babe, we've got to watch this movie together. So she goes on that tirade about Ben Stiller and how his movies are easily explained. So I'm like, babe, so then what's the deal with Elf? Not funny. Never
Elf
was
is
funny. Never has been funny.
Elf is funny.
Never will be funny.
But Elf is based on the fairy tale premise, and it's supposed to be make-believe. It is funny. It's very funny.
Babe,
nobody is adopted by elves up in the North Pole, which, by the way, one of the I was today years old, but I learned something involves the movie Elf. We're going to get to in a minute.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so he's fussing at me about, oh, but you think Elf is so funny and that's fake. I'm like, but it's about Santa Claus and adopting elves. I mean, come on.
Whoa, easy now. Easy.
Oh,
Santa.
I know.
Santa's real.
I know.
I believe in Santa. Santa is real if you believe in it. Okay, so that was our discussion.
So anyway, maybe some people agree with me about Ben Stiller and maybe you don't, and that is fine.
That's fine.
That is fine. Ben Stiller is a millionaire and he does not care what Kelly Raspberry Evans thinks about his acting career or his acting choices.
Well, it's okay.
I know that. And I know he doesn't listen to our podcast. It's fine.
It's art. I don't know. And I don't like Alec Baldwin all that much, but he is hilarious in that movie.
Alec Baldwin?
Yes.
In what?
Along Came Polly.
See,
he's hilarious.
I haven't seen all of Along Came Polly because you know why?
You've got to watch.
Because Ben Stiller's in it.
Okay. All right.
But I've seen that sweaty, cramping scene.
Okay. Well, we'll have to agree to disagree.
Can we?
Okay. What are we doing now? Are we doing?
Why do you always act so clueless on our podcast? It makes you look very unprepared.
What makes you think it's an act?
Oh, I know it's not an act. You're clueless.
No, I'm not. I'm most certainly not.
What are we doing here?
Call me clueless. I'll show you clueless.
What are you going to read there, honey?
Well, we're going to do Today Years Old.
Okay, great.
And
That's
this
what we're
was
going to do.
my bit. I said, Kelly, this is the bit we're going to do tonight. And she's like, oh, I don't even know what to do. I'm like, well, come up with 3 Today Years Old.
I couldn't.
She couldn't. Okay.
So I asked our listeners, and they came up with even better ones than I ever could.
So here's what I told her. I said, to me, a Today Years Old doesn't have to be like you just discovered it literally today or yesterday. It could be, to me, a Today Years Old is, gosh, it took me 40 years to learn that this was for this served this purpose or whatever. So I wrote down 5 of them right off the top of my head. Today's Years Old. You want me to read mine?
Go ahead. I'd love to hear them.
One, a couple of these my wife has taught me. I was Today Years Old when I learned that Andre the Giant was in The Princess Bride.
One of my favorite movies.
No freaking idea. No, and I love Andre the Giant.
Well, why don't we watch that?
Never saw The Princess Bride.
Well, there you go.
Not funny.
You haven't seen it, so you don't even know. Oh, you're so aggravating.
Okay.
You're more aggravating than Ben Stiller.
Here's another one. I was Today Years Old when I learned that your car's gas gauge has a little arrow on it that points to the side that the gas cap is on.
I know that's a good tip, isn't it? It was helpful for me to finally learn that because when I was growing up, my daddy was a used car dealer and he still does deal in used cars. But I was always, every week, I was driving a different car. Because he'd sell it and I'd have to drive something else. And I'd pull up to the gas tank and never failed. I'd always pick the wrong side. If you just look on your little dashboard, there's an arrow pointing to which side your gas cap's on. A big time saver. But listen,
most of the time.
Most of the time?
Yes.
Well, listen, somebody who goes by the Instagram, I'm just going to piggyback on that.
Okay.
DATSCG. I would like to give you credit, but Datskug, I don't know how you pronounce your name, said she was today years old when they realized there is a gas cap holder on your gas tank door.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's so it's not flopping around scratching your paint.
No. Like for the ones that are removable, there's apparently like a holder.
Oh, well, yeah. There's always a holder inside the door. Like every car I've ever owned has had that.
Okay, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, it's today years old.
Okay.
That's today years old. Okay. I'm not making light of that. God, I'm having a problem over here.
Too much Thai?
Yeah, too much something. Okay. I was today years old when I learned that you can get your eggs over medium.
I don't know why this is
I just learned this like since I've met Kelly. So within the last 4 years.
Yeah.
I knew you could get them sunny side up. I don't eat raw chicken embryo.
Y'all are crazy people.
Now I will eat them over easy.
I don't like runny yolks.
Medium
either.
rare chicken embryo. You can get them scrambled. I knew that. You can get them poached. You can get them Benedict. No idea you could get them over medium.
And over hard.
Which is like just a fried egg that doesn't run.
Well, over medium, it's still a little soft, but over hard means cook them to death. That's the way I like them.
That's the way Kelly Raspberry would. That's the way
actually.
she would cook them to death. To death. Oh,
is that it?
No, no. Okay, here's one that happened to me later in life, and at the time, I was in my 20s. I didn't know what this meant, and just maybe another 5 years after that, did I realize, oh my gosh, that's what that meant. Okay, here's what happened. I'm from Wichita Falls.
Yes.
You know this. Big thing when I first moved to Dallas was my parents who lived in Wichita Falls would come see me because I was single by myself in Dallas, living in Dallas. I first moved here. And we'd go out to eat or whatever. Well, they came up to see me one time and we all went to the Galleria or one of the malls around here. I don't know, one of the malls around here. And it's when the Dallas Cowboys were really, really good in the early 90s. I think it was 93 or 94. It's when I first moved here. And they were selling all this Cowboy stuff. You know, everywhere you went was Cowboys because the Cowboys were good. Finally, again. And they had these T-shirts that said, "My Johnson is bigger than your Johnson." And the coach's name was Jimmy Johnson. And I was walking with my mom and dad, and I said, "Mom, Dad, look at that shirt. I want one of those." And I remember them like, okay, kind of being real shifty about it. And I'm like, I just thought it meant my coach is better than your coach. Mike Johnson is bigger than...
Who was the other Johnson?
Well, it doesn't matter. My Johnson's bigger than your Johnson.
Oh.
Yeah. So I remember my parents acting really strange about that, real shifty about it. And they didn't want me to get the shirt, really. They just kind of avoided it.
They never told you why?
No. And I didn't know why. And I was in my 20s.
You were that sheltered?
Yeah, I was that naive.
Wow.
And then just a few years later, I learned that Johnson...
is a nickname.
It's like
Willie.
Schlong, Peter, Willie, Mr. Happy.
We all know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I didn't know that Johnson was a
that
euphemism
for that.
For your schlong. And that was when I was 20, I would have been 22. Yeah, 21, 22. I was today years old, 22, when I learned that Johnson meant Woody.
Okay. Is that the last one? Was that your big end?
No, I have one more.
Okay.
That should have been my
That should have been.
Okay. I was today years old, and this happened within the last week. When I learned that a screwdriver handle, a standard, manual screwdriver handle is designed so that you can put a wrench on it to help loosen or tighten a screw.
How about that?
No freaking idea. I just thought that it was that shaped that way so you get your hand on it.
Right.
It's so a crescent wrench will fit
around it.
Yes.
That's cool. Look at you learning things.
Today years old.
You're going to learn some more things because of my listeners, my followers, I should say, on Instagram. And hopefully some of you are listening right now to this podcast because you've opened my eyes to some things. Did you know Lily P72 said, when someone tells you, break a leg, you know why they say that?
I've heard this one.
It's because they hope you end up in the cast. When you're auditioning, they say break a leg because they want you to end up in the cast. That's why?
I remember
I
that.
didn't know that. I did not know that.
I've heard that one, I think.
Now, it did take me a minute to realize this, and Holly Martin figured it out too. It took me a long time to realize
Okay.
the ABC song and Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star are the same tune.
They are.
Did you ever realize that until just this very moment? Look at your face.
They are.
Did anybody? It took me a while to realize that too.
I think
It's
you
like,
should sing a few bars.
A, B, C, D,
Twinkle, little
G,
star,
H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. See?
Up above the...
How about that? All right, let me, I'm trying to get to some good ones. There
On the Sandwich
I know,
and
because
Lovin
I got so
podcast.
many that are like really cute and just saying, hey. Somebody said that Quarantim said she was today years old when she learned it's not a one-horse Hofen sleigh. It's a one-horse open sleigh.
Oh, so she always thought it was Hofen sleigh?
Well, that remands me of Big Al. He said that he always thought it was Oh Say Can You See by Don's Early Light. He thought it was the band's name was Don's Early, like D-O-N apostrophe S.
No, I feel him on that. I always thought the guy's name was Harold Angel. I thought the name of the angel was Harold.
Oh, Hark the Herald Angel.
Harold Angel. I thought he was Harold the Angel.
All right. Melanie Chavez said she was today years old when she learned that all Fruit Loops are the same flavor.
Just different colors?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
I've heard the same thing about Skittles too. That they're all the same flavor. They're just different colors.
Didn't know that.
Cammie from our show.
Cammie.
She actually chimed in.
Man Sam's big crush.
Right. She said, I was today years old that I learned that Johnny Depp was not from England. He is, in fact, from America.
Yeah. Weirdest accent.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Omar Salazar, 95, said, I was today years old when I learned you can find the address without turning down the volume on the radio.
Oh, yeah, I do that too. Yeah. You can concentrate better when it's not so loud.
Now, you might be able to explain this while I search for another good one. Kivy02 said, I was today years old when I learned how to calculate a batting average. Always assumed it was complicated, but so easy.
A batting average?
Yeah, how easy is it?
That's just the number of base hits you get divided by the number of at-bats is your batting average, right? It's how many hits you get.
Is that it?
Over the number, I think. I'm not a baseball aficionado, but I believe that's what it is.
Lyndon Hatton said, I was today years old when I learned you're supposed to use a spoon to open canned biscuits. We always whack them on the counter.
Oh, instead of pressing the spoon on the back of the thing? Ashley
Roche, I had the same come to realization moment a while back when Britney Spears is singing If You Seek Amy, what she's really singing. And Ashley says, I'm 27, and she finally figured it out.
See, I'm not the only one that doesn't realize stuff until later in life.
If you go back and listen to Britney Spears' song, If You Seek Amy, and listen to it a few times, and you'll get it.
Is it lewd?
Very lewd. Mm. This was a mind blower to me. Mm-hmm. Jenny Martini, 33. Mm-hmm. Today years old. When Kelly Raspberry learned this, that the sides of juice boxes are for kids to hold so they don't squeeze the boxes. Okay.
I don't understand.
Whenever you hold, I've done this a million times, when you're punching the straw through the top of the juice box.
Yes.
And you're holding it.
Yes.
If you squeeze it just the slightest bit, juice comes squirting out.
All over the place, right?
Okay, those tabs that are on the side at the top, you flip those tabs out so the child can hold it by the tabs.
What tabs?
There are tabs at the top of the juice box that they fold down on the sides of the juice box. I've always seen them, and I didn't know what they were for.
I've never seen them.
You flip those tabs up, and they stick out like airplane wings.
Really?
That way, the kids can hold the tabs and not squeeze the juice box and squirt juice everywhere.
Well, now you tell me this when my youngest
Our kids are too old for juice boxes.
Kid's 8 now.
We have just saved so many people messes. I never knew that.
Think about the
Think
about the gallons of juice we've wasted over the years.
If you barely press that juice box, juice goes everywhere.
Just kind of spurting
Just
out of
flip
there.
up the tabs and tell the kids to hold them
What
there.
tabs? I've never seen these.
I'll get one just so I can show you.
Okay.
On the top of the juice box, it's like they fold down, and they're on the top of the juice. You just lift them up.
What these look like.
You just lift them up, and they're like little wings.
Really?
Yes,
That
I'm
is
telling.
crazy.
And my mother told me this on tinfoil, the rolls of tinfoil.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I was about to cough, but I think I caught it.
Wait a minute. Is this morphing into hacks, or are these today years
It's
old?
today years old that you learn stuff.
Okay.
On the side of the tinfoil box, there are perforated things that you punch in. So when you're ripping out the, when you whip out the tinfoil and the whole roll comes out, and you almost cut your hand off getting it back in.
Right.
You push those tabs in on the sides because it puts the resistance in, so the whole roll doesn't come flying out.
Didn't know that either.
So go look at that too. My mother was the one that taught me that.
Well, today years old on that.
Ragnar 2018 said, I was 44 years old when I found out the tray at the bottom of the toaster.
Oh, yeah.
Not everybody knows that, honey. I didn't know that for
tray
many,
you
many
pull out,
years.
it's got all the nasty crumbs on it.
My toaster would just get so full of crumbs that I would just kind of try to wipe them out. And then one day I think I turned this toaster on its side to kind of dump them out, and the whole tray fell out. I'm like, oh, there's a removable tray in here.
Oh, so you were turning that thing over to just shake them out?
That's how I found out.
Wow.
SBJ22 said, Pringles are only salted on one side.
Today years old.
Is that true?
No idea. I had no idea. I was today years old.
Mireya said, I was today years old that I learned all the little piggies were going to be slaughtered.
Yes.
Now it's a very dark nursery rhyme.
Well, yeah. And what's up with the one?
I thought they were all happy.
Well, no. And what's up with the one who likes roast beef? That's wheels off.
But why does that mean they're all going to be slaughtered?
Well, they're not only they're carnivores in addition to going to be slaughtered. This little piggy went to market.
Yeah, that one was going to be
this little piggy
slaughtered.
stayed home.
But that one stayed home, so
this
it didn't
little
get
piggy
slaughtered.
had roast beef.
And this little piggy had none.
This little piggy had none. He was starving.
And this little piggy went wee, wee, wee all the way home because the only one went to market to get slaughtered.
No, he didn't go wee, wee, wee. He went wee, 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 wee. What they do when they're getting slaughtered.
All the way home. He stayed home. The only one that got slaughtered went to market. That's what I choose to believe.
All nursery rhymes are dark.
Kayla Tuthill taught me this that I learned today, and she is known since she was today years old. When someone says, hold your horses, they're telling you to be stable.
Things that make you go,
Do you have to think about that for a minute?
Hold on. Hold your horses. Hold your horses makes be stable. That just
Stable.
means stop.
Hold your horses.
That means
be
stop.
Stable.
I've always thought that meant stop.
Well, that's what she said.
Yeah.
Now, B. Jenkins 0229, this was one of mine too. It's called a wheelbarrow, not a wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow? When your mom said, go get the wheelbarrow out of the shed?
Wheelbarrow.
I always thought it was wheelbarrow.
You said wheelbarrow?
I thought it was a barrel on wheels.
And you make fun of me saying milk, but you can say wheelbarrow?
Because I thought it was wheelbarrow, not wheelbarrow. And I also thought it was Chester drawers.
Oh my gosh.
Not chest of drawers. I always thought it was Chester drawers.
I don't want to hear anything else.
I guarantee you,
things.
and a lot of people think that, because if you go to eBay right now and you type in Chester drawers, people are going to put up because they think it's also Chester drawers.
They're all from South Carolina.
Let's see what else. Oh, poor little Skylar hack. She said, I just found out that bread has expiration dates. I always just eat it until it's moldy.
Ew. Ew.
That is funny.
Hey, if there's one piece of bread in the loaf and it's got mold on it, babe, can you eat the rest of the loaf?
I think you can. My father's the one, like if there's mold on cheese, he'll just cut off the moldy part and keep eating it because cheese is made from mold, right?
No, but I'm talking about bread that's sealed in plastic.
I'm saying the same thing,
Okay. Okay.
What? I can't read that one. That doesn't make any sense.
On a Sandwich and Some Lovin' podcast.
So Katarina Ann said, well, I'm having to read through them. A lot of them are nonsense.
A Kid Nation
She
podcast.
said, I'm reading them in real time. Katarina said she just was today years old when she found out what the M stands for on a wedding RSVP card. Because it just has an M blank. You're supposed to
You
either
put the RS or the MS.
Yeah, isn't that weird though? That's such a weird tradition.
Yeah, okay.
Why do they even have that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I knew that one.
All right.
Those are good. There's some good ones.
There are some good ones. Megan Wolfe said she was today years old that she learned the G in the word argue is not silent. I have been pronouncing it "are-you" my entire life. What? How?
What?
How did you not know argue had a pronounced G? Megan, I'm not making fun of you, but I guess I sort of am.
Megan,
Are you?
Are you? I've never heard that.
This is the one that I finally came across. I didn't want to misread it, and I wanted to give her credit. Hoefer. I'm assuming that's heifer. I pronounced heifer or hofer 26. She was today years old when she learned a narwhal is real and wasn't just made up for the movie Elf. I'll be honest, I thought it was an imaginary creature too.
A narwhal is a whale with a big tusk.
Yeah, and then I was watching like one of the animal shows with our son Dylan. I'm like, there really are narwhals.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was a make-believe thing from Elf.
Yeah.
Well, how do you? Yeah, because you knew.
Well, I know animals pretty well. I didn't know what a Johnson was. Sorry.
Erin Lee 724 said she was today years old when she learned the holes in the Chick-fil-A nugget carton fit on your straw so you don't have to hold them.
Hold the straws?
The holes in the Chick-fil-A nugget carton fit on your straw so you don't have to hold them. So I guess you would balance them on the lid of your drink and the straw would keep them in place. I am going to go tomorrow and I'm ordering Chick-fil-A nuggets and a soft drink just so I can test that.
Pick me up spicy deluxe soup and a side salad, please.
Oh, Sandy, this is the cutest. She said she was 35 years old when her mom finally talked to her about sex, and she had 2 kids by then. Her mother had the sex talk. This is a good one. Riggs Rescue said, Flo Rida spells Florida.
Yeah, I'm with him on that. I was way advanced age when I figured that out.
And here, just another one.
Had no idea.
Now, Miss Carolyn, North Carolina, this is up for debate.
Carolyn Marks?
No, this is from Miss Carolyn C. Oh, maybe I said Miss Carol. It's Miss Carolyn C. Okay. Goofy is actually a cow and not a dog.
No way.
Now, see, I think that's debatable.
No way. Negative. Not true. Goofy is a dog. He wears a tie and he drives a car. That's okay. Pluto is also a dog that doesn't have those privileges.
These are so fun. Real quick from Irby Lady, the dishwasher has a filter you're supposed to clean regularly. Who knew?
No idea.
All I know is our dishwasher stinks. So
maybe that's why.
Well, we should maybe look into that because I went to, I was at Home Goods and I was just, perusing the aisles like you do, finding things you don't know you really need. And there were some like the Plinko for your your garbage disposer. They had them for the dishwasher. And so I bought one to throw in there because it smells so bad. And Alan just showed this to me the other day. I kept having to ask him, like if I had to scan documents because we don't have a fax machine anywhere, that there was an app, a tiny scanner app. But in your notes, you just told me about this the other day.
Your notes app.
This is a really great tip that a lot of people I don't think know. If you need to scan something and you don't have a fax machine because you need to email it to somebody, listen to this.
Yeah, if you have an iPhone, everybody has a notes app. And in that notes app, if you go to the bottom, there's a little picture of a camera and you just touch that camera and then a menu comes up and it says scan documents.
Isn't that so great?
Done. You don't need to download an app or anything. And then if you store everything in the cloud, it keeps all your scan documents in your cloud.
That was a genius because he finally said, get the tiny scanner app. And so I did. And then like within a week, he said, duh, I just found this out. So I thought that was really helpful. And I've used that several times. And anytime I don't have to bother Alan with a technical question, I feel like that's a personal victory.
Why?
Because I don't like bothering you every time for something. I had a lot of problems sending Google Docs. I could never remember how to do it. So the last time I had Alan show me, I wrote down step by step what to do, so I'd never have to bother you again with that.
Well, you don't bother me.
Every once in a while, I get a sigh and a little eye roll.
Well,
because there was a period there where I had a ton
no.
of Google Docs that I had to send, and I don't know how to do it.
Only when I've shown you, you've written it down. You've written it down, and then you
I can't remember where I wrote it.
You can't remember where you wrote it, or it's like, well, where'd you put it, babe? Well, it was in this stack of papers, and I cleaned up the papers. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. I don't know.
But I wrote it somewhere I remember now.
Okay.
But anyway, thank you all so much. That was
fun.
So
you guys
fun.
did great.
And we learned something, and hopefully you learned something too today. And I'll tell you something else. If you haven't learned during these past few months of quarantine, how important it is to take care of yourself. A lot of us have kind of let certain things go. And if I don't feel like shaving my legs for a couple weeks, you know who doesn't say anything about it? This guy right here. He knows to keep his mouth shut because I'm going through some things. But every once in a while, I'm like, you know what? I feel like cleaning myself up. And I feel like, taking care of myself. And I might shave my legs today. And when I do, that's when I bring out the Billy. Billy has recreated everyday essentials by delivering premium razors and high-performing body care directly to you, right to your door, with no pink tax. You don't get punished for being a woman. Why is it just because it's made for a woman, it's more expensive? Billy says that's ridiculous. It doesn't have to be that way. And you don't have to go to the drugstore. You don't have to break the bank. Go to mybilly.com to get their starter kit. It's just $9. And that includes their award-winning razor, 2 refill blades, a magnetic holder to keep your razor safe and dry in between uses. And Billy is out to change more than just the way you shave. They've released 3 completely clean, must-have products to add to your routine. Lip balm, dry shampoo, which we are going through that by the case, and face wipes, because you don't always feel like doing a complete facial. You just want to wipe it off and go to bed. So stock up on those. Now, with Billy, you're going to get a smooth shaver. You'll probably never even think of what other razors exist. There is no need for any other razors when you've got Billy. It floats over your skin. You won't even feel it. And you might not even have to shave for even longer. You can go even longer between shaves if you feel like it. Because with Billy, you shave when you want to. And they're an Allure Best of Beauty winner and on Nylon's beauty hit list for a reason. Find out why.
And to express a little love for our show, go to mybilly.com/lovin. It's a small way you can support us while getting the best razor you will ever hone. It's just $9 to get your starter kit plus free shipping always. Go to mybilly.com/lovin. That's spelled mybillie.com/lovin, LOVIN. Love Billy.
Yeah, you do, especially when I use it.
Yeah, then you're not.
You're very good though. You don't really, he calls me Bonnaroo sometimes because, I throw my hair in a top knot and I don't put on a bra. And sometimes I've been really bad about forgetting to brush my teeth until very late in the day. Because I've been up sick, hat coughing, and I go out and sleep on the couch. And then I'm like, oh my God, I've got to go do the radio show. So I'll kind of just like run my fingers through my hair and come and get on the microphone and start doing the show. And I'm a hot mess. And then by the time I've had 2 or 3 cups of coffee, now you're tasting coffee. I just forget. I forget to brush my teeth. Am I giving too much information?
Bonnaroo is better than me calling you like Sasquatch or something like that.
It is.
Which that was also a scene in Along Came Polly.
I wouldn't know. I haven't seen all of it because Ben Stiller's in it.
I'm going to start laughing. They're playing basketball. What's up, Sasquatch? You want to run twos? There's this real hairy guy who's got back hair. He's bald, but he has these real hair. He's got back hair.
It's because he has excess testosterone.
Oh, wow. But he doesn't have head hair.
That's a sign. Excessive testosterone. A lot of bald men have very hairy bodies.
Really?
Look at Ed Asner. Is he dead or alive?
Babe. I think he actually died recently.
Very furry man. But bald.
Boy, now that's a reference I don't know a lot of our listeners are going to get. Unless they've listened to you since 1651, which a lot of people have, they ain't going to know who Ed Asner is.
Mary Tyler Moore Show. He was the boss.
He was in JFK, too, one of the all-time great movies.
Well, there you go. See why you're making fun of me.
All right,
You're not that much younger than I am, Alan. I do like him young, but I settled for a man only 4 years younger than me.
Hey, why don't we just quickly, last couple of minutes, just recap real quick. You met I met one of your friends,
Kristen.
Kristen. Yeah. Well, I knew her name, Kristen, and her husband, Ross. And we went to dinner the other night, but you haven't seen her in how long?
Well, since Emma Kelly was born, and Emma
That's
Kelly's about to be
crazy.
14. Yeah. When I first moved to Dallas in 1994, I'd been here not very long, but I met Kristen, and it was at an AIDS life walk. And we had a mutual friend at the time, Paul Ninus, who has since passed away. But he said, I want you to meet my friend Kristen. I think you two would just hit it off. She's fabulous. And she was a personal trainer at Larry North Total Fitness. And so she started training me, and we ended up becoming really good friends. And she ended up being my roommate for a period of time. But, you know, life happens, and she moved back to Las Vegas and then moved to Florida. And we just kind of lost touch over the years. But now, you know, ladies, and I was talking to her, she never had been married, and she was always like, when's it going to be my turn? When's it going to be my turn?
She's about your age, right?
She just turned 50.
Okay. So
she's a little younger than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 53. But I got married the second time at 50. I was 50, but she had never been married, and she was in her mid 40s when she met Ross. And she said the minute she saw him, she's like, that's going to be my husband. And within 1 week, they were living together, and they ended up getting married.
In 4 months, right?
Yeah, very quickly.
Yeah.
But she was in her mid 40s. And I'm going to tell you what, she hit the jackpot. He worships the ground she walks on. He does very well. He does very well. And she, you know, she's just got this most beautiful, blessed life. But she got a little later than she wanted. But it's all she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was everything she wanted. So if she would have settled for something, just to kind of, well, this guy, I guess, I mean, I might as well just marry him because I really want to, get married. I don't want to be alone. She might have missed out on this guy. You know what I'm saying? So it was just really a beautiful thing, because I reminded her, I said, I was looking up pictures of you to show Alan just so he'd know who I was talking about. And a picture popped up from just like, I don't know, 2013 or something. And it was her mother had remarried. And Kristen wrote in the notes something about, my mother has married her soulmate. I just hope, I don't know if it's ever going to happen for me, but I'm very happy for my mom. And 2 years later, she was married. So you just never know.
Yeah.
You just never know. So, let me turn that down.
Well, they couldn't have been any night. In fact, she just texted you.
She just texted me. That? Speak of the devil, right?
They couldn't have been any nicer. And Ross was a real fun guy to talk to. He and I really
very interesting.
We really vibed. We were talking because he's been married twice too, and we were kind of talking about that.
Well, this is his second marriage.
This is his second marriage, yeah. And he has grown kids now, but he was telling me, and he was giving me some advice on some things I was kind of telling him, and he had gone through some things with his daughter and his son, and some of the things that kind of I've gone through too, without going into a lot of detail. But he was just very encouraging to talk to. And it was just it was nice talking to another guy. I don't talk to a lot of men that are much older than me, other than my dad, really.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing another guy that's kind of been through life even further than I have, to me it was encouraging to talk to somebody like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he'd been really there, and he's like, this is what you got to do, and this is how you got to kind of, your mindset you need to be in, and everything's going to be okay. And it was fun. I had a good time talking to them.
I'm glad.
And meeting your friends.
Because, when you drag your husband along to dinner with people he doesn't know and has never met before, it could go either way, but it ended up being a great thing.
I'm like a chameleon, man. I blend in with anything, any scene.
Is that a challenge?
Has there ever been anything you've taken me to and I haven't? I remember the first thing you ever took me to. And even your friend Carolyn was like, Alan, look at that. He just kind of goes and does his own thing. Look at this guy, Kelly. This is the kind of guy you need, an independent guy. Look at him working the room. You took me to that Emmett Smith thing. No. It was Emmett Smith's house. And it was Emmett Smith's house. And the big time producer was doing his book signing there. What was it was
Jan Miller's house. Was it Emmett's house?
It was Emmett's house. Yeah.
I can't remember.
And remember the producer that found He's like one of the biggest producers in.
TD Jakes?
No, I can't remember his name.
It wasn't Tyler Perry.
No, he's African American, but I can't remember his name.
You sure it wasn't TD Jakes?
Nope, one of the biggest producers in LA.
I've been to so many things I can't remember, y'all.
Anyway, that's the first thing you ever took me to, and I remember.
Doesn't that sound really snooty?
I remember. It's so dropping.
I've
a
never
dime.
met Tyler Perry.
So dropping a dime. No, but I remember Carolyn saying, "Look at this Alan. He's fine. You don't have to worry about this guy." That's not a very good Carolyn, but I remember that's what she said.
I'm glad you remember it.
Just saying.
I can't remember who we met that night.
You don't remember anything.
I don't remember. I remember we ended up going to eat dinner with John and Mark at Torelli's that night. Right?
Did they go to that thing?
I don't remember.
God, this is
God,
horrible.
y'all, we're talking about stuff that nobody listening to this podcast cares about
I'm
right
gonna
now.
kick myself because I can't remember the guy's name. He wrote a book. He's produced the biggest acts in musical acts there is.
The music guy.
The music guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
the music guy, the music producer.
You're gonna kick yourself when we.
I now I can think.
When we finish the podcast and we.
Oh, the music guy. Crap. All right. Well,
do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do now. I wish I hadn't. Now it's on the tip of my tongue.
Didn't he go to your?
Yes, he came by the studio.
He came by the studio.
Oh gosh.
It wasn't Quincy Jones.
No, it wasn't Quincy Jones. Oh my God. Can somebody listening, not David Foster,
it wasn't Jay-Z, it wasn't Dr. Dre.
People are listening in the YouTube chat room right now.
Oh, got it.
Oh gosh, he's bald. He wears glasses.
All right. Well, anyway, there you go.
He left his record label in like it was a scandal because somebody accused him of like sexual harassment, and then he started his own label again. And now nobody can remember. That's okay.
Okay. Well, he might not have been that famous then.
He's very famous. I just can't think of him.
Yeah.
So on that note,
I was posted up at the open bar, probably doing magic tricks for total strangers.
Probably so.
All right, babe. Well,
on that note,
there you go. We'll finish this one with our failing memories. But I think what was not a fail was our new bit. Today's years old. I thought that was fun.
It went very well.
I thought that was a lot of fun. Kelly is currently using
L.A. Reid.
L.A. Reid. L.A. Reid.
Whew. Okay.
We went to
now we can end the podcast.
We went to L.A. Reid's thing.
L.A. Reid. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Lord.
There you go. My man, L.A. Reid. In fact, I think I addressed him as my man that night.
I think you called him La. Hello, La. Can I call you La?
Hello, hand. All right, babe. Well, I love you desperately.
I love you.
What?
Nobody knows Hello, hand.
Oh.
I'll let you tell that story.
I had a lot of people DM me and they said, you've got to tell me hello.
Well,
hand.
whenever y'all meet Alan out in public, ask him to tell you the story. I will not allow him to tell it on the podcast.
Oh, here's the deal, guys. We are closing submissions for the Oaked contest we're doing to name the smokers.
Yeah.
We've received hundreds of submissions. Within the next podcast or two, we'll announce the 3 winners.
Do we have a deadline on that?
I think we had this week.
Okay. Well, we'll announce them.
We'll announce it either Thursday or the next.
And then we'll be inviting y'all to come have some barbecue with us. We invite everyone to come.
Yeah.
This will be our treat for the people who win the naming the contest. And thank you all for joining us tonight. We got a little scattered there at the end, but hopefully it was fun. Hey, we're a little rusty doing 2 podcasts a week. Y'all got to give us a minute to catch up. And again, I've got to go take my cough syrup. So we need to sign off now.
Okay, babe. Well, your clueless husband loves you desperately.
I love you too.
I love our listeners desperately.
Thank y'all for hanging out with us.
I love L.A. Reid desperately.
La
Reid. But I'm sure we'll podcast again real soon, right?
Yes.
And in the immortal words of the great Keanu Reeves, life is good when you have a good sandwich. Bye. All done, guys. Thank you, Carmen. Love you. Appreciate it. Andrea, that was a good guess. Suge Knight? Suge Knight. Did Trey's wife have the baby?
I don't know. I haven't heard.
Last I'm sure she has. Last thing I saw was Trey posted a picture of the delivery at the hospital. He was going down the hall where they go to the delivery
Well, look at
room.
his Instagram and see.
Y'all said the deadline was the 18th. Okay, well, we'll give them to the 18th if we've said that.
Thank y'all for reminding us because we can't remember.
Yeah, we can't remember anything. We need what's that stuff called?
Memory
No,
medicine.
what's that stuff you have? Hashimoto's. We need something to fight Hashimoto's.
Well, memory medicine.
Yes, memory medicine.
What are we calling this podcast? Anybody got any ideas?
A sandwich and some today years old.
Okay, if that's what you want.
Whoa. Safe beauty. That cannot be proved in a court of law. But
What?
yeah, I think she freaking fed her husband to the tigers myself. Her first husband. She said she didn't. Safe beauty says she doesn't understand why Carol Baskin's on the show because she's like,
well, because
she may have murdered somebody, but she was never like convicted of murdering anybody.
Well, there's no body.
Well, it's because the freaking tigers ate it.
Well, maybe.
Ain't gonna be a body.
Or she's innocent and falsely accused.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jennifer. Thanks, Kara. Yeah, we're excited. It's going to happen. I don't know if you follow the Oaked social media stuff. They do a good job, but they're doing. Oh, they're having a tasting Wednesday. I'm going to go to that. But they post pictures of all the cooking they're doing, and I mean, you can almost taste it through those pictures. I mean, it looks so good. And Chef Mike, I mean, that guy knows what he's doing. I mean, he really knows how to cook. They're going to have some great food, and you know, I know it's like hashtag ad, but really, he knows what he's doing. And they're going to have a pastry chef that makes the desserts there from scratch. And that tasting Kelly and I went to, she made, like, right when we were there, she made homemade ice cream. And it was cinnamon ice cream, and they're going to serve that at the restaurant. It was so good. And they're going to make homemade apple pie. So you get a homemade apple pie, put some of that cinnamon ice cream on there. Oh, after eating that barbecue. Oh, I think I gained 3 pounds just talking about it. What happened at the school with COVID?
Apparently somebody tested positive. They came to school Friday, no symptoms, but confirmed over the weekends. They've done a thorough cleaning on the school. That's about the extent of that.
Stronger and wiser. That sandwich is going to be freaking legit.
What?
Our sandwich. Our barbecue sandwich. Yeah. Tennessee. Volunteer state. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out on Monday. I know you could have been watching Dancing with the Stars, but you chose to watch this buffoonery. Watch that buffoonery.
Sorry.
Yeah, we do, Safe Beauty. We have, I don't know if Kelly's finished hers. I finished mine.
What?
Signature drink.
We have not done mine yet.
Well, okay. Yeah, mine's going to be an old fashioned, and Kelly's is going to be some kind of vodka drink, probably a raspberry infused, or it'll have maybe garnished with raspberry. She hasn't come up with the final thing yet. We taste tested some that were too sweet, like they're almost like punch. They were too sweet, so they're going to back off that. And Kelly likes martinis, so you know she doesn't like actually personally prefer drinks that are super sweet. So she won't do that. Something that'll, I don't know. I don't know. It's your drink. You got to come up with it. That's okay, J-Bo.
I like dirty martinis, but you know, if you're going to use the raspberry spin on it, it can't be a dirty raspberry martini, can it?
It doesn't sound good. Because the dirty is the olive juice.
Right. So they were talking about maybe doing a raspberry infused vodka.
Hey, you want to see a spitting image of Axl Rose? There it is.
There you go.
There it is.
The older Axel.
There's Axel.
I'm trying not to talk ugly about myself.
Oh, golly. I'm dying. All right, guys. I got to get this uploaded. I will talk to you guys Wednesday. Thank you, Cindy. Hey, there was something else that someone was asking earlier, and then we started. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, Safe Beauty got an Indiana Jones tattoo. That's cool. Oh, at what's the name of this thrifting place we went?
Plato's Closet.
Plato's Closet. Yeah. Yeah, I found 3 things at Plato's Closet. It was legit. I don't know if that's what I was thinking of. Hello, Christy Kincaid Norris. I didn't know you were on this thing. Okay, guys. Have a good night. We'll talk to you soon.